Well, here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I shouldn't be talking to you about the things that I'm going to be talking to you about, but I find myself prepared and ready to talk to you about these things. I was hearing a young man doing some video. He was disgusted because people are constantly saying that Donald Trump is doing things that's despicable. And what he wanted to do was go back and view some of the historical evidence of past presidents and find out if any of them engaged in such activities. And according to what he found and was reporting, many of them did. And I have no doubt that they did. We're talking about America. We're talking about America that was constantly holding people as as property. We're talking about America that was, oh boy, without me getting into what America really was, I just say let's deal with the slavery part. We know about that. And so when you start talking about what America is doing, what America can do, people who, depending upon what side of the fence you're on, might have come up with a different perspective. And yet he's saying that out of all of the people that Americans today that are against Trump, consider all the people of history who were Democrats when they were doing the same kinds of things. And I guess he's trying to use this as justification, but Donald Trump should be able to get away with the things that these guys got away with, even though laws were passed after certain things these guys got away with were uh, to prevent it from happening again. Nevertheless, what they're always doing is comparing one evil with another evil. You find none of them talking about how wonderful things could be. How many of them tell you that Republicans and Democrats both are doing things, Trump and these Democrats that he identified? How many of them tell you that yes, they were doing some dirty things, but they were doing the same thing? One was no better than the other. How many of them, having said that, then speak on people like Dr. Martin Luther King, people like Malcolm X, people like Medgar Evers, people like John F. Kennedy, people who actually gave their lives, really actually were murdered because they spoke of good things. They spoke of better things. They spoke of things that brought joy and happiness to the minds and hearts of people. And they were shot down, slaughtered. And yet someone that comes along like Donald Trump, who represents everything that you were taught to hate, that you were taught to despise, and they made him president twice. Made him president twice. They didn't kill him. And you can almost be certain that nobody ever tried to kill him. That was a stage to try to give him some cover of being somebody important, somebody that's worth killing. He might be worth killing, but that wasn't it. So what am I saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? The whole thing is about, I think maybe you should consider, even though most of us haven't had the opportunity, that as part of the black family, and I'm talking to we who are black and everybody else who got a connection. We, the black family, chosen of God. The message is different. Yes, it is different than that of whitewashed image of Jesus Christ and his God. What am I saying? I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, that as black people who are the true chosen people of God, the true chosen people of God, what their philosophy of life and what their message of life is, it's different than that of whitewash Jesus Christ and God. These people who were down in slavery, who were brutalized in every way imaginable, who were the true people of God, the true chosen people of God, and they were held there by a group of people who wanted to take away any power or any uh, joy or accolade that they might be able to ascertain and draw from being the people of God, and decided to eradicate all of the history that they can about these particular people as they took them into slavery and tried to instigate and integrate themselves into the positions of these that they are holding so evil. My. Well, those people who were slaves, who were held down, who were beat down, when you start talking about a, a system of life, their idea of it is going to be very, very different than those who were pretending to be real children of God and weren't. You see, the false, to give you an idea, the false Christ, the one that we know that Christianity has allowed us to accept as being it, and we say we have followed it to the degree that no other can measure up to it. But having done that, it still has permitted crime, it has permitted violence. And most of this is due to poverty. It is due to haves and have-nots. Crime and violence due to poverty, due to haves and have-nots. Some people got some people don't. Everybody on the face of the earth requires the basic essentials for the survival of life. When you start talking about, I don't even want to go deeper than that, what you get and you can't, and you got some excuse, or some, if you don't, someone else comes up with an excuse, and either way, nothing satisfies it. And so the only door that's left open is crime and then violence if it's necessary. What you do that for? Survival. That's the way of, the Bible, as that same Bible said that slavery was okay. That same Bible that told us, to black people, to be obedient to our masters. Yeah. That same Bible that allows poverty to exist, that permits crime and violence to exist. Well, the real Christ see, and understands that prosperity is due to every individual and every nation. Thus, it requires that every individual have a career. So every individual on the planet that meets the requirements, and that means eliminating too young and disabled and stuff like that, requires a career from all, a career of each one's choice. Yes, my friend, this is Jesus Christ of the God's chosen people, black people. Everybody got a career of their own choice, a career that they choose, that they love, and loving the career that they have chosen happens to give them their greatest joy. So they got their love and their greatest joy. The joy comes from God because the world can't give that. The world can't take it away. So how wonderful and how blessed you become just dealing with the black Jesus and maybe see, this is the family, they say God's chosen family. These are the ones who can take you to a different level. They don't do the same things that the current Christian world does. The current people that believe in a European, uh, Uh, it's really a joke when you really think about it. Now, why is it a joke? Because we were taught that, we accepted that. Now you start seeing history that indicates that this stuff is fake, and then they want to argue that it is not fake. Yet at the same time, in this current time, they are actually duplicating some of those same identical things that they were accused of for doing then. So you have to ask yourself, tell them, sit down. Thus, everybody, everybody, my friend, becomes prosperous and they're free. When I say become prosperous, I mean they are prosperous because they are not doing what they used to do. They have changed. They have changed to express the understanding of life of those who have been chosen as God's people, the black people, the black race, those are chosen as God's people for some strange reason now. And you just don't argue with it, we might not know what it is. You see, the false Christ permits hatred, right? There's a lot of hatred going on in the world today. The false Christ and this religion and preachers and all that kind of stuff permits racism. Is there a lot of racism? They even tell us that slavery has something to do with racism. That white supremacy and all of that stuff goes together. And that this hatred is based upon deception. The lies that you tell different groups that that resist one another. And neither answers the problem. And so each one not having their desires neither once met are blaming the other. And so you get some crazy stuff going on. Start hating each other. Yeah, they can't stand it. And then you start telling them about who's blaming who and who's blaming who, so on and so forth. And now you got what? You got people that this deception being divided by politics. You got people blaming, definitely. So hey, that's the false Christ. But now with the true Christ, it accepts all humans as members of the family of God. It accepts the Africans, it accepts the Europeans and Asians, it accepts the Jews, Christians, it accepts the Muslims and blacks and whites and men and women and straights and gay. The real God, Son, the black Jesus, the black Christ, from the family, God's chosen family, the black family, they, my friend, are receptive to all of these because it is family. It is God's family. It is our brothers, our sisters. And it's all about a path to liberation that I give you these messages today, not to try to make things any consistent with the way things have been, but to make things. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to take a pause. I got to do something. Excuse me just for 1 second, please.